entirely sure she's still taking requests, but I'm thinking if we put the karaoke machine up here, she'd be good to go. Because if you missed her and Jenny last night, you missed out. Somebody on Facebook this morning called her KG McFancy Pants. And whoever you are, that was great because they're here. That was awesome. You know, I first met KG, I think it was Bard Fest 2003 in the garage underneath the hotel. And I'm very glad that I met that woman that day because I've gotten to watch her put out her first book. I've read the first book, the next book, and it's really cool to see an author as talented as KG MacGregor grow over the last 8 years. It's absolutely awesome. And it kind of gives me chills sometimes to know that I knew her right before she signed that first contract. And it's just an awesome thing. If you haven't read her stuff, why not? Because it's just incredible. It's awesome. And it really shows us, but not just us in a way that is just a typical little formulaic way that we've sometimes seen in the past. KG really has a way of showing us as real people. You can recognize yourself in her characters every time. And if you haven't read something of hers, like I said, why not? A little bit about her. I'm going to read her bio for you guys before I get her up here because she's way better at talking than me. KG's a former teacher and a market research consultant. She holds a PhD in journalism and mass communications, and her infatuation with Xena Warrior Princess fan fiction prompted her to try her own hand at storytelling in 2002. In 2005, she signed with Bella, which published the Goldie Award finalist Just This Once. Her sixth Bella novel, Out of Love, won the 2007 Lambda Literary Award for Women's Romance, the 2008 Goldie in Lesbian Romance. In 2009, she picked up Goldies for Without Warning, Contemporary Romance, and Secrets So Deep for Romantic Suspense. KG is also currently a member of the Lambda Literary Foundation. This is very new. Congratulations, KG, for that. And without further ado, let's welcome KG MacGregor.
All right, let me get this in the right place. Is it in the right place?
Closer.
Can you hear me in the back?
No. Closer.
Can you hear me now?
No.
Is this on?
Did you turn it off?
Say again?
Little did we know that was Patty by herself.
I sabotaged the keynote.
Sounds like it. Let me do it.
Nicole, I know you're straight, but don't say that to lesbian.
All right, I have to get out the big guns for this. I have a really small window of these progressives, and I've lose my place very quickly. So let me get out the Coke bottles. Thank you. Good morning. Being up here like this is not as intimidating when you don't have Lois Glenn standing beside you with a microphone.
Amen.
I want to thank the GCLS for this tremendous honor. It honestly scares the hell out of me to have to follow the moving address that Lee Lynch dropped on us last year. To Lee and our other past keynote speaker here, Karen Kalmaker, just to have my name on the same list as yours makes this one of the highlights of my life. I'm really very humbled to be in your company. I have to confess, though, when Patty's note landed in my inbox last January, humility and gratitude for this privilege didn't last as long as I would have liked, because it turned into panic pretty much right away. As you know, I've been in denial about this. If you were here Here last year, you may recall that I was quite hobbled with back troubles. And one of the casualties of that has been my ability to concentrate. When I got the invite to speak, I was already 8 months into an extended hiatus from writing, and I was afraid to say yes to anything that involved a deadline, including Linda Hill. In fact, my last 2 books, Photographs of Claudia and Motherlode, were late getting to the editor. And I hate that because it puts unfair pressure on the staff at Bella to get the books out on time without errors. So when Motherlode finally slid off my desk last spring, I vowed not to promise anything to anyone unless I was dead certain I could deliver it on time. Then I said yes to this, thinking surely I could write a few thousand words in 5 months. But of course they couldn't be just any bunch of words. They had to be worthy of this podium, hence the banner. I thought I might get a reprieve with all that rapture business back Lucky for me, I hedged my bets and wrote the speech ahead of time because clearly Harold Camping was wrong. We're not smoldering in the hot fires of hell, we're in Orlando. Speaking of the hot fires of hell, there was a lesbian writer who died and was given the option of going to heaven or hell. Fearing that heaven would restrict her from writing books about lesbians, she decided to check out each place first. When she descended into the fiery pits, she saw row upon row of writers chained to their desks in a steaming sweatshop. As they toiled, they were whipped with thorny lashes and sprayed with rubbing alcohol. Definitely not for me, she said frightfully. Let me see heaven now. When she ascended into heaven, she saw rows of writers chained to their desks in a steaming sweatshop. They too were whipped with thorny lashes and sprayed with rubbing alcohol. Wait a minute, she said. What's the difference between heaven and hell? And an unseen voice answered, here you get published. Almost skipped a page. That would have been bad. I wrote this down so I wouldn't ramble because I can ramble. I tend to use a lot of metaphors when I organize my thoughts. I want to frame the things that I say in terms that are already familiar to my audience. If you've read any of my work, you've probably seen some examples of this. An earthquake symbolizes an unexpected shift in someone's sense of self. A mountain stands in for the challenges we face as we transition to a new phase in life. Or a quirky golf shot signifies the chance for a do-over. I began writing my remarks for today around the metaphor of home. As someone who grew up in a Marine Corps family, Semper Fi, I've always had trouble with the question, where are you from? We moved around so much that I learned not to get too attached to places, and especially not to people. Even as an adult, I've shuffled frequently from job to job, state to state, and relationship to relationship, all without ever feeling a true sense of permanence. To be honest, I don't think I knew what home felt like until about 18 years ago when I met Jenny. I'd spent my whole life making friends, then moving away and losing touch. With Jenny, I learned once and for all that home doesn't have to be a physical place. It can be a state of mind, or in our case, a state of heart. When you commit your heart to something, it takes on a sense of permanence. I feel that way about the lesbian book community, not only as a writer, but as a friend to so many of you, whom I can't see with these glasses. I know you're also feel that I'm an activist for the elevation of what we do. I feel at home in this room, and I know many of you share that. It's a place where all of us can relax and be ourselves, where we not only belong, but we thrive, and where we're surrounded by friends who have proven they will step up for us when we need them. So I kept writing around this theme, probably 20 minutes worth of related analogies and metaphors about home, personal reflections on why this community feels that way to me, and what I believe we all mean to one another. Then I had a revelation in the form of an imaginary conversation with my former editor, Cindy Creasell. Cindy wasn't the sort to sugarcoat her comments, am I right? She would have taken one look at what I'd written and told me it was overuse of expository narrative. Except she would have phrased it, "Stop beating this horse, it died of boredom." She was editing one of my intimate scenes once, and I had described my character's nipples as red. She scribbled in the margin, "They can be pink or they can be rose, but if they're red, someone is going to the clinic." So I turned to a new metaphor, one that's firmly fixed in the lexicon of the GCLS, the trailblazer, because it was through our trailblazers that this all became home. Over the years, we've had some really great moments here at GCLS. At our first meeting, the Queen of Romance, Karen Callmaker, pumped us up and made us feel proud to tell the stories that have long been maligned as fluffy chick lit. Then at the 2006 convention in Atlanta, we had the privilege of hearing Ann Bannon, who described what it was like to write lesbian books at a time when not only the publishers, but even the U.S. Postal Code mandated a tragic end to our love stories. They wouldn't deliver a happy ending. They wouldn't deliver that in the mail. It was considered obscene. In subsequent years, we heard moving accounts from people like Ellen Hart, Catherine Forrest, Jean Redmond, and Lee Lynch, how they worked in near isolation to add their voices to what was a tiny chorus of lesbian writers. And then came desktop publishing. It's fascinating to contrast the stories